All right, man, looks like we got to address the elephant in the room because I know none of y'all are going to address it because you're likely too afraid to address it. So let's go ahead and address the elephant in the room because I log on to the game and, I'm just dibble dabbling around. And I see these things. And I'm like, bro, it's like, bro, why? Why? You know what I'm saying? And look, you know what? I'll just show you right here. Bro, what are these outfits? What are these outfits in the scratch? Look, okay, let's dive in. So we're gonna be reasonable here, okay? So don't get me wrong, I'm a very reasonable person, but let's dive in into this scratch and just the issues that this has. So with the game, and look, it's all love and hugs here, okay?
But let's just be real about this.
Let's address this elephant in the room because I know a lot of people are thinking it, or a lot of people are seeing it, and then they're like, oh, but of course they're kind of too scared to talk about it. But that's what you got me here for, because we're not too scared to talk about these things. We're not too scared to touch on the tough topics, and we're not afraid to, dibble and dabble inside all different types of topics and discussions because we do so in a proper manner. I'm never attacking any of y'all, but these things need to be discussed. So we're going to discuss them. First, be sure to like and subscribe. It helps out tremendously. Thank you very much. All right, man. Well, you already saw it. So, I log onto the game. I get on the game as I normally do after maintenances, when there's ever big updates to just kind of see what's new and whatnot. And, I go to the scratch. So I'm like, okay, let's go see what's in the scratch. Just see what's on there, because sometimes, I might buy some stuff from the scratch, right? I might see some stuff on there. I'll be like, okay, let's see someone put up on the personal shop. Might want to go get it or something like that. So I go to the scratch and, I'm like, okay, let's see. Oh, Toho Project. This is what everyone's looking forward to. All these cute outfits. Look at all these cute little girls on the outfit. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Cool. Okay. And then I go to price list and I'm met with this. I'm like, okay, this isn't, anything out of the ordinary. Let's go ahead and move my camera here so that way y'all see this. This isn't anything out of the ordinary. All right. We've seen this before. We've seen them do this before, right? Of course, where it's just like, okay, just want to pop in, a onesie or something like that, for the male model. So I go here, I see this, and I'm like, okay. But then I keep going, bro. And they actually just flat out, just straight up, all of them, across the board, put me in dresses, put me in little short dresses. You know what I'm saying? Put me in all types of dresses. Let's make them cute. Let's make him cute. Let's make this little guy cute. You know what I'm saying? Let's do that. Let's make him cute. Let's make all of our players make their male characters cute. Let's do that. Put them in dresses. Put them in dresses. Then, of course, you have the female models over here. But literally, all these are just straight dresses for the male models. For the male models. They're all just straight dresses. Now, you might be like, well, Spike, what's the big issue? What's the big issue? Okay, we're gonna address this from two different points, okay? From two different points. Now, firstly is, bro, this is just lazy. If you want to just look at it from an objective sense of just design, let's disregard the whole fact that it's, it's these males in dresses and all these right here, just all dresses. It's lazy because they're the same freaking dresses. You didn't take an opportunity to even give one single one for the male models that was actually designed more so for your typical male type of designs. You know what I'm saying? At least put one in there, something. But no, they're all dresses. Every single one of them. So looking at it from that standpoint, it's just lazy. Okay? Because I know some of y'all will try to bend this and shift this or whatever. If you just look at it from that objective standpoint, it's just lazy that they did not even take the initiative to make one something different for the male model. Plain and simple, okay? So that's the first way of looking at it. Now, the second way of looking at this, okay? The second way of looking at this, we can move this back over here. We can pop this back. I think I'm usually like right there or something like that, right? Now, the second way of looking at this, right? Actually, I guess I should have this here just how it's a reference point. Is that, look, I'm going to be just, I don't know the easy way to say this, but this, if you're wondering why your games might struggle sometimes, this is that reason. This is that reason. Now, let me say to y'all, the PSO franchise has been around since 2000, right? The PlayStation, the Phantasy Star franchise has been around since like the 1980s. The PSO franchise has historically always been a heavily male played game, right? Has always been. Has always been, you know, kind of, it's definitely with sweats, you know, when it first started out. Dreamcast, you know, and GameCube and, you know, PC and, you know, the early iterations of PSO were definitely more so for gamers. And that was always the core franchise, the core player base of the game, of the franchise. And I'm just being straight up here when I say that when you steer so heavily and you lean so hard in this direction right here, and you know, it's perfectly fine to, you know, toss, you know, one or two of these in here or whatever, you know, if you really want to do that. There's people who want to, you know, have this as an option, sure. However, you have to understand from a business standpoint, and these people, people just do not understand this, but you have to understand from a business standpoint that this only, the people who actually want this only encompasses a very small percentage of your whole wide potential market. A very small percentage, less than 3%. Three, not 303. Less than 3%. You push away more people by doing this than bringing them in. Now, like I said, you know, it's cool to of course, you know, it's a game where everyone can be, you know, play how they want and be how they want, of course. So it's like, sure, you know, if you want to toss one dress in here or whatever for the male model, then, you know, cool, whatever. You know, that's fine, whatever. You can play however, you're not hurting anyone. It's cool. But if you're going to do that, the rest of these need to be actual outfits that the other people who are that pretty much anyone and everyone who's playing a male model, you know, is going to want to use. Most people who play this game and who are playing male models, likely, you know, the good majority of them, not all of them, of course, but a good majority of them are looking for a more male-ish type model stuff, right? Because usually, if they're not, then they're playing the female model, so that way they can play dress up. It's not rocket science, so that's why there's so many female models. It's that way they can play dress up. You know, the female models get all the stuff. That's why they're on the female models in the first place. You know, they're the cute ones and stuff, you know, with the hairstyles and stuff. That's not the case for the male models. So there's no reason to push this. And I cannot emphasize this enough, how I don't understand. And like I said, this is not coming from any place of hate or of anything of the sort. It's just coming from a realistic place of understanding the scape, the global state that we are in, the whole wide scape of everything that we are in. And now there are going to be people in here who will try to aggressively be like, oh, he's just like this, he's like that, or he's saying this, he's saying that. No, I'm saying exactly what I said within this video. And if it's not exactly how I said it within this video, then do not try to twist it out of context, because it's not accurate. Said it right there on video. You have it right there. But I'm not afraid to address the elephant in the room. And this is an elephant in the room. Plain and simple. You want to really divide your market more so than it already has been, you keep doing things like this. Not only, like I said, not only because, you know, it's just nothing but you're just pushing this straight, you know, dresses across the board for the males, but also simply because it's just lazy, because of the exact same things for the female models. It's just lazy. There's two different coins to this. Laziness, and then what are you even doing? Do you not know who your core franchise market is? Or are you intentionally trying to drive the game down a direction where you will lose money in the long run? Are you trying to drive the game and the franchise in a direction where, you know, 5 years from now, you will not be able to pick back up that audience that you lost from it? I'm not too sure what the direction is here, but there needs to be people who are consulting these individuals in these positions to really properly maybe educate and give a broader scope of view on how these things are operating, and how they are evolving on a global scale. Because you see this a lot, and I don't want to be one of those people who's like, oh, well, this game has this and this and this, and that's why it felt. But you have to understand. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with wanting to have this stuff or whatnot. But understand. You just have to understand what your market is. You have to understand that what people are telling you in regards to, oh, maybe all these people really want this, that is not an accurate representation. It's not. Like I said, this you're essentially targeting less than 3%, three, tres, san of your market by pushing that. And you're risking ostracizing any other potential market that you could have potentially been grabbing from that. So I just don't I don't really fully understand that decision. And yeah, so like I said, look, it's an elephant in the room, and someone had to address it because I know no one else is going to address this. Let's see if we can move this. We can move this back here. Why is it not moving? Oh no, whatever. My camera's not moving, but no one else is going to address it. So I had to speak on it because it doesn't make any sense to me. It does not make any sense. So much love to all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it doesn't really overly bother me or anything. It's just I don't understand the push for it. The push doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. And then just like as heavily as that one is, like I said, we've had them try to do that before in the past, where they just they had like the onesie outfit, a romper or something like that. I can't remember what it's called, and it was just like one. But there were other male outfits within that scratch, I think, and that was not even that bad. It's like slacks, like pants, one piece. So I mean, that was not that bad in the first place. But it's just I don't know, it's just questionable. It's just very questionable. And I don't think it's smart. I think you're as a company, you're heading down a very slippery slope there. A very slippery slope. And I'm just saying this from a realistic, being real with y'all standpoint. Like at the end of the day, I don't care, what you do or how you are or who you date or any of that stuff. As long as you're not hurting anyone, it's perfectly fine. I don't care. My big thing is always, as long as you are not forcing yourself or trying to push, your own beliefs or something. Like a freaking, like a Jehovah's Witness or something coming to your door and constantly knocking on your door every day. You know what I'm saying? It's the exact same thing. As long as you're not trying to push certain things on people. That can apply to anything. That can apply to religion. That can apply to anything. That's my big thing. And this is very much kind of like a push, especially considering with your core franchise and core user base has historically been for this game, for this franchise, for the PSO franchise. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I think there's a lot of questionable consulting going on there as to the directions that these are taking. So, yeah. At any rate, we just wanted to touch on it. Like I said, dude, there was an elephant in the room, so we touched on it because we touch on things in a in a matter where I'm just speaking to y'all. It's not coming from a place of hurt or a place of disdain or I don't wish ill will upon anyone. Y'all all know that. I don't wish ill will upon anyone, not even my worst enemy. Hate does not fester here. I don't let it fester. His hate is just does nothing for you. I don't wish any ill will upon anyone. But this was definitely a something that needed to be addressed. I think it's something that long since needed to be addressed, probably. But this one was just like over the top because I saw it and then everything was dressed. If it was just like one dress, you probably wouldn't have gotten this video. But because it was all dresses and to boot the exact same dresses for this collab scratch, then y'all got a video for this. At any rate, y'all, let me know down below in the comments. Be cordial. Don't be. Let me say right here, I don't condone any like hateful stuff trying to attack or put down on people. I don't condone it. So if you see it in the comments, just understand I don't condone it. If you think I agree with you or you think I'm on your side with that, I'm not. If you're putting down people, you're hating on people, you're trying to be, a nuisance, understand flat out right here. I'm telling you right now to your face or to this camera. I'll tell it to your face too. Got zero issue with that. That I do not stand with you. Fair enough. But had to address this elephant in the room. Anyway, like and comment. I will see you on the next one. Much love. Follow. Spike content.